Success is all I see. Let me tell you what that mean. Money on my mind, a bitch can't get a hold of me. Mama said in all due time, but not my time.
What's going on, world? This is Sir Davis with another episode of Off the Record Texas. Here with my special guest, Don Martin 40. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come chop it up with me, man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on the podcast, Off the Record. But from here on, for the subscribers, it's on the record.
110%, man. I kind of want to just dive right into it, man.
Sure.
When it comes down to you, people see maybe like a tough, also mystic type of figure. Who would you say the real Don Martin is?
You pretty much described me well. Mystic sounds good enough. Being strong.
I mean, yeah, you got
At
this.
that,
this
hey, well, you
anonymity
can ask
about
my
you, too.
endocrinologist. Why does he have high testosterone? Just because of life.
Sheesh.
That is
He's
a
high
fact.
tea over here. But yeah, who would you say the real Don Martin is, man?
Well, if I wanted the public to know who it was, it's continuing on what we're doing here. And what grounds me really is being a grandpa, being a father. And that's it, really. I do the music, I do the entertainment, I do the traveling. That's just to get to the family. That's the sole reason I go across that Atlantic.
Really?
Because of family.
You got family all over the world?
I would say in Italy specifically, I have a family there, my daughter and my grandchildren. And then in Madrid, Spain, I have another niece and her husband and several other nieces and nephews there.
Really? How many kids you got, brother?
I have only 3 children, but
Nice.
9 grandchildren with 1 on the way.
Sheesh.
And just keep on having more. The more the merry.
That's a big Thanksgiving.
It is a blessing to have children. And then to have grandchildren, that's even more.
Oh, man.
It's a second recharge in life.
Did they ever give you a slack for you maybe treating the grandchildren different than you treated them?
I make it well known that they're grandchildren. I said, you guys were children. You can tell me that I was a worse single parent. Horrible, very, I would say old-fashioned. Go to bed at 7 o'clock, be quiet, don't even talk about it. You have no curfew, no
Right.
no privileges, straight restrictions. So it was a little bit rough there. But now as a grandparent, well,
What do you? Because I feel like that's with every parent. What do you think changed as far as how you treat, the grandchildren?
For any parent, I would say, especially single parents, just the struggle of surviving. You're wore out. You're frustrated. You ain't got time to have a kid double talk and ask you questions. Just do what I say. Be quiet. Be quiet. Go to bed. Don't cause problems at school. As a grandparent, well, you're a little more established. You've tried a few ideas, and it should be easier.
Right.
You should be like super happy to. Hey, Grandpa got a lot of money to give you guys. Here you go. Boom. Let's go shopping at the dollar store, of course.
Or Five Below.
Yeah. Be thrifty on it.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like?
Well, I was born and raised here in Corpus Christi, Texas, out here in an impoverished area, the west side of town. I had the greatest experience. I loved it so much. It really built character. I adapted to all the behaviors you have in any rough neighborhood, being that I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters.
Sheesh.
I had already heard of, I'd already witnessed the extremes of what rough neighborhoods do.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, take us back there. I mean, as far as like, what was that like for you, and how do you feel like it's kind of molded you today? I mean, we were talking on the phone the other day, and you told me some things that were surprising to me as far as your youth growing up in a rougher environment. I believe you said you were on the murder program or something along those lines. And then of course you told me that you dropped out of school.
Absolutely, yeah.
How are those things? I guess I want to say, change the course of your life.
Well, life would teach you lessons.
Right.
Institutions will, and adapting some philosophy. So as a kid, I do what I see. I want to be like my brothers. They seem to look a certain way, act a certain way, hustle a certain way. So no doubt in my time, we dealt with bells, not elbows, but bells, 50 pounds, 100 pounds. we had a great time I had a great time as a little kid. But because of some of the violent acts that I committed, I was committed to Texas Youth Commission, specifically the Gideon State Home and School, what is we know is the murder program for Texas violent offenders. So I stayed there until about until I was released, and then till when I turned 21, I was blessed to have my whole record sealed. So it's just hearsay, unless I show you, letters, that were written to me from my brothers from Texas prisons. It's just hearsay, but
Really?
I know I was there,
Right.
and it was a great experience. Trial and error. What can I say? I did well. In anywhere I've been, I adapt to that environment.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. So, with that being said, you had to take on a lot as a youth. Obviously, I mean that's not something that a lot of the youth go through, right? And then, during your schooling, dropping out of school and just to go get the accolades in college. What did dropping out of school teach you that school couldn't teach you?
Well, I dropped out of school because I was suspended for hitting the teacher or something to something like that. I was already
It happens sometimes, guys.
I was already a bad kid. So, actually, I've never been a bad kid. I've been in a bad situation.
Right.
That's what I've always said. So
I feel the same because, I went to Carroll High School, and it wasn't that I was getting in trouble. It was just that it was just a big place. You know what I mean? I got lost a couple of times. Drugs were easily accessible. Fights happened. I think on the fourth day of school, I got my ass kicked. You know what I mean? Like, it was just always something going on. And then finally, I had to go to a smaller alternative school. You know what I mean?
yes, I know the first time I got kicked out of school, they sent me to the alternative center, and then I got kicked out of that one. And then the next year, I went and enrolled myself purposely in the next grade. Then they put me back in the little grade, and then sent me back to the alternative. That's where the incident happened. And after the 8th grade, I wasn't in public school. So I'm already involved with, since I was 11 years old, I had already been, I'd been to Martin Juvenile
Right.
for whatever little kids get in trouble for. So I was already like, I don't really care. I don't need to go to school. Let me do what I do. I sold produce. I sold a newspaper. And the best opportunity is when you start learning how to hustle commodities of exchange where, it's easier to get rid of, and the return's so much greater. So even as a little kid, I kind of pride myself. I said, dude, I became the plug for my own little family, and it's pretty large.
You kind of unknowingly went into commission-only sales.
Immediately, because I was I'm well respected in a sense because I like to respect people. I would have called you sir, but you've already said Sir Davis. But one of the I guess you call him plugs who had just been released from prison. His money maker was, to help out the community with natural herbs. So I would go and get there, and before you know it, he says, "Hey, tell everybody, don't nobody come, only you." So I'm like, "Hey, you hear that? You can't go over here, only I can."
Right.
So I immediately became the plug on that street, and then, it moves on from that.
How old are you when you became the plug, man?
At least 14 years of age, right before I got sent away to the Texas Youth Commission.
Sheesh.
Absolutely, for my little family, and we're a large family, So
It sounds like it, man. You said you have how many brothers?
6 brothers.
6 brothers.
Yeah, 6 brothers. When I was born, my brother, rest in peace, Ricardo, he was already in the Gainesville Reformatory, and those times they just warehouse kids. When I entered the Youth Commission, they had more of a humane, more therapy, more like, you're not a bad kid. You had bad parents, or you were in a bad environment, or you made
A bad choice.
So
right.
that was really right there the time that I started realizing, hey, dude, I can't be acting like that, or I'm going across the highway to a real prison.
Right.
And that's a deterrence. I'm a young kid. I already have 2 brothers in prison. My whole family's been there. Not the whole family, but many of the males have been there.
The majority of your brothers?
Two of them for sure.
Right.
For long times. They were well, like any of the little brother, I admire that we would go to the courthouse and I would see my brother. He looked like Fonzie. He had a cigarettes here,
Okay.
but he had a tattoo here. And for our little city, Corpus Christi, having a tattoo in 1970, well, I mean, it's very few people that have that.
Okay, so that was kind of like frowned
Yes.
upon.
Well, I wouldn't say it was frowned upon. It made a statement.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
It's
I can see that.
1970. You can be a gangster today. It's like common urban intro into
Right.
this world of the hustle.
Or
But
even just your average dude that just wants to, put something on their neck. I mean, it
in
says
1970, put a tattoo on your neck says something for all city.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's a completely different.
so my training, I would say, is really great. You know what I mean? I did see a fatalities. By the time I'm in fifth grade, surely by the time I'm into my teenagers, I've witnessed violent offenses where someone expires for
Sheesh.
cheating at a gambling dice game, right there in the hood, Mexican hood, of course. So I was exposed at a very young age to a lot of extremes of people, and you have to adapt to that. Fire with fire, and knowing where to fire set.
Really, that's interesting, man. That's I never would have pegged it, as far as to that extreme, right? Because like I said, you have this bit of anonymity about you where, we've done some work together, and you played those roles very well, and you carry yourself with the utmost respect, right?
Thank you.
And definitely enjoy working with you, and seeing that as a kid, how do you feel like that feeds into your creative space? Does that add anything? Does that add layers to you to be able to know these things, to channel that time? Because I know a lot of artists, they tend to channel certain aspects of their youth or things that they've been through. And for what I know about you, you're a pretty extensive artist, man. Do you channel those moments?
I would say that I definitely orbit around the motif of depression, anger.
Do you really?
Absolutely.
Really? How do you combat that, man?
Well, as a little kid, I would say I'd get on my bike from Virginia Street out on Agnes and follow it all the way to the end, and I'd end up at the Bayfront until I got lost one time. They had to find me, and they tried to spank me, but I climbed a tree, so it didn't happen. So this time I knew to get home sooner. But I would say by just being an explorer. I mean, it takes courage to leave your family. It takes courage to leave your neighborhood. It takes courage to leave your city and start a new life, a state, make friends in another country with different languages. So I think that as a child, I was definitely an explorer. I was so extremely high emotions, hung out, broke, did what every kid did. So the music that I do record and create is the extremes. Very melodic, extremely melodic, classically trained, 40-something years. You just got to appreciate it. And then when I play the aggressive music, it's very disharmonious, distortion. It should give you an effect.
Yeah, pull some emotion out of you.
Absolutely. So I do reflect that, or maybe I will always be that way. So, but being I guess at-risk youth, as they call us, that really made me a better warrior in the military. We ain't even spoken about that.
We haven't even got to that because that's
you know what I'm saying.
Was it military first then college? Because
no,
for someone
straight out of the Texas Youth Commission, because you've been awarded to the state, you're an orphan, so you belong to the state. So Uncle
Sam came and got you.
This wasn't Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is the federal government. This was just a little nephew. You know what I'm saying? State of Texas. They got a little bankroll. So being that I had completed part of getting out soon is to complete some education. So I got my GED before I left. So that immediately qualified me to be at the Del Mar College. So I went in and enrolled, and I have my transcript. I've been to school for over 12 years. I have straight A's my first 2 years at Del Mar, and I'm an 8th grade dropout straight out of Texas Youth Commission. And I got a lot of recognition, so much that I'm in magazines, I'm photographed, I'm on Channel 3, Channel 6, and because they're like, how does a dropout kid from the hood make straight A's? I said, it's real simple. You tell me this is A, then this is A. I'm not questioning. I'm here to learn.
Right.
I've already learned from being as I call myself, a fellow in the school of hard knocks. Okay.
Right.
Now I want to be under someone's,
Because you dealt with those things as a youth, that doesn't put any type of restrictions on your intelligence. You know what I mean? And
I definitely, yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's just like, we may have made dumb decisions, doesn't make me dumb at all. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Because I graduated a small school, and had a couple of accolades, doing that. I got in trouble, but what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I'm any different than anybody else, or I could apply the same amount of pressure as anybody else. And I feel like what I'm hearing from you is that you did that, and you went and got those accolades. So it was college first, and
it was 2 years first at Del Mar College. First, I took the basic stuff, how to read and write, parts of speech, 1 + 1. But after that first semester, or maybe the second semester, I took, your regular college courses, English, how to properly, write a essay, how to do research, and I continued. Because it was so easy to me, my grades reflected, my GPA reflects this, my scholarships reflected. I was going to continue going to school for at least 2 more years until the girl that I was dating said that, she was going to have a child. And I was like, oh, man. So that kind of...
turned life upside down a little bit.
Because I didn't want my child to be on welfare. You know what I'm saying?
What did you go to school for, brother?
Well, initially I went for electronics communications.
Okay.
It's just an associate's in applied science, which is, at that time, you're learning the very basic, the 808, the 84 something IC circuits, but all type of communications.
Right.
At that time, it was radio waves, TV, whatever, mega satellite. Optics was already being presented back then. So you're looking at 1985, 86, because in 1986 I'm already hitting the print. I'm already in magazines. I'm already receiving scholarships because I'm showing like 1 year straight A's.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so I don't know how that happened, that I'm able to retain information so well, even up to today. It's helped me. It's helped me to be able to memorize stuff.
Really?
It's a skill.
That's beautiful, man. So I'm guessing since the baby's on the way, here comes the military.
Absolutely, they give you a guaranteed paycheck and
a
squares,
Camaro,
and you can buy yourself a new car if you know how to budget.
Right.
But so during my time, like I said, I joined the military, had the children, did the married life, was very militant. So much that in boot camp, being from Corpus Christi, Texas, I take off in a pair of sandals and shorts and head out to Chicago for boot camp, and it's freezing.
Some
and
shorts
snowing.
and you're crazy
but
for that, man.
My little outfit or something must have gotten the attention because it made me a part of the flag company. So it's boot camp, thousands of people, and they see some dude in shorts. I'm like, you know what? Come here, boy, and they made me the dude that holds the flag. There's only 50 of those dudes compared to the other ones, so you do have some benefits of being in this elite flag company. So that was
and what branch are we talking about?
United States Navy.
The Navy, okay.
Mm-hmm. So after that, then I go to A school, and boot camp was easy. Prior to that, while I was going to Del Mar, I was a Corpus Christi Athletic. I was a boxer for them under Bobby Garza, who did present a couple of championship fights. So when it came to the skill of knocking folks out or just being athletic, please. I've already been athletic my whole time, running from the law, running from my parents, etc.
Right.
Running from the bully, whatever it may be.
Doing those hurdles over the fences.
Yeah, so I had athletic-wise, I would say that for the Navy standards, running a 6 minute, 30-something second mile and a half is something to receive some kind of achievement plaque, whatever they give you. So the military was easy physically. As far as the promotions, the first 5 years was great. It was every single year, paycheck rise until you get comfortable. You're like, shoot, I think I can. Maybe I don't have to show up as early today. Maybe I don't have to polish
You
my
started
boot.
getting a little complacent, huh?
Yeah, for you Navy folks and any military guy, there, I received a couple of NJPs, and
What's a NJP?
non-judicial punishment.
Oh.
Kind of like what a capital crime is and a misdemeanor. Well, first let's just
So you get a
let's attempt
little
to
misdemeanor.
do this. Yeah, and it naturally after there's no doubt that I challenge systems if I feel they're wrong, and
As you should. I feel like as everybody should.
well, in the military, let's face it, it is the melting pot of all the races. But hey, listen, bro, when I seen a brown dude, I hung out with him. What's up? He's brown. It's just like in another race that you can see them in little. You can see the color spots.
Right, yeah, you got their little
Yeah.
clicks. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I'm
it's
like-
like that in any type of
So
like,
I noticed
yeah.
that. So I'm like, well, I am a little darker, so I'll stay out the sun. Maybe I'll get promoted. But I did notice that when I look at the wall, well, I always noticed that there was no color. Maybe you might see one speck, one black dude made it. You might see a little smudge, a little brown Mexican dude. But the majority of the chain of command is, in fact, I would say,
Caucasian.
non-Hispanic, non-minority. So I noticed that immediately. So how do you get along? Well, you got to learn that white is right. Hey, come on, let's face it. This isn't a racist. This is just my adaptation of the military.
Right.
Do as you are. So I adapted well.
How did that feel, especially coming from, the side of town that you come from, predominantly Hispanic and the upbringing that you had, having to just, mentally say white is right?
Well, there's rules, and then there's the rules that society goes by.
Right.
So being that we're codified,
There's like two separate rules.
yeah, we're codified society for thousands of years. You've got to learn how to read. So when I read everything, every publication, or every directive, or every order or statute, entonces yo puedo hablar español in uniform. And people would trip that out. I said, yeah, it's not my fault that you don't know your language, but I do. Y te hablo español. So I would, with more reason, I would speak Spanish in uniform because that's my right.
Right.
So I said, oh, that's my little buck in the system. And then I started learning that you have not because you ask not.
That's a fact.
So I would ask for this. I got a lot of, I'm blessed to have joined him. I encourage anyone capable physically, mentally, to take on the challenge, volunteer to serve our nation's greatest force in the world, because the benefits are a lifetime.
Right. Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they.
so-
I do hear. Well, you hear the mixed reviews, right? But for the majority of some of my friends and family that served the military, they've treated their veterans, our veterans, very well, and I really love that statement that you made as far as you have not because you ask not. I'm super big on I'd rather be told no than to not know.
Yes, sir. Question.
That's gotten me into a lot of places as far as the area of music or production or sales or whatever the case may be. Tell me no, but I'm gonna ask you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because if you tiptoe around anything in life, it's not gonna come to you. Nothing's gonna fall in your lap. You gotta go and get it.
You are so right. You have to.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So the military afforded me how to really navigate through a society that is bureaucratic, that has red tape, and the underlying that there's unfavorable treatment in certain groups of people.
And the thing is, it's kind of like we live in a gray area because some choose not to see it as like that. They see as everything is fine and dandy, and some choose to actually see that there is red tape and there is certain barriers or obstacles for certain folks.
I would say that It is what it is, but knowing that I could navigate myself, I would say that I was able to sit right after our because I did get deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, and we actually had a victory speech that the president of the United States flew down there.
Which president was this?
The Honorable George W. Bush, and well, I'll say that when you look at CNN, and it's still when on the internet, you'll see me sitting here, and you'll see that the first lady or the other guy, then the first lady was there, and then the president, and you're like, well, how do you get that kind of dignity, that type of seating? Again, you have not because you ask not, maybe, or you learn how to get the most, not the less.
Yeah, don't put limitations on yourself.
Yeah, so I knew that I stood different from the moment I landed in boot camp. I'm the flag guy. Then I became the in A school. I became the color guard, and that's the little guy that wears the ropes, as you see in my photographs. Then I became the honor guard. So all that is modeling a militant look. Slender, knows military history, knows how to shoot a gun, knows how to stand at attention for hours. You're basically just there for, what do they call them, just to show.
Right.
So I learned that if I am definitely the dude that matches that character. It helped me in the military. So I have no regrets. It was the greatest time, but it did teach me how to navigate.
Did you feel any like, quote unquote animosity from other Hispanics within your ranks or whatever the case may be, because how quickly you were moving up, or because of the doors that were open, or the people that you got to be around? You know what I mean? Because you kind of hit the nail on the head earlier, talking about, you saw that there wasn't enough color in the equation.
Immediately, that is noticeable. Yeah, and that's just life, for Americans for now.
Right.
Until you and I actually challenge, hey, we want to be one of them leaders too.
Right.
So it was a great experience. It gave me what I call a paradigm shift. It made me understand that as a kid, because you go to military for just one thing. You don't go because you want to get college. You only go there because you're going to defend the Constitution of the United States.
Right.
And you're going to go in harm's way.
Yeah.
So when you go in harm's way and you do very well, or you experience, as Senator McCain stated, unconventional methods to extract intelligence. Pragmatically, a hood kid that I'm like, well, dude, he just hogtied him and made him scream like as the Senate report, they defined it as torture. The psychologists called it unconventional methods.
So have you had to practice unconventional methods? Were you behind certain scenes very similar to that?
I would say that in my journaling, which I do journal for my grandkids and close people to look at, I would state that we do what we're told to do. We have a conscience, and within medical practice, you know what I mean? I think it's using the right equipment, we can justify it.
Basically, he can not confirm or deny.
Yeah, I can say, look up Senator McCain, rest in peace, also prisoner of war. He stated clearly that it looks like we guys are bullies and we're torturing people. Well, he described some scenes, and I'm like, well, empirically, I can tell you that I may have a counseling session and say, hey, listen, man, I used to be told that was wrong when I was a kid. They definitely told my brothers who ended up in prison that doing that kind of stuff was violence, but here we're getting accommodations and all this great little rewards. And tell me how that works. Which brings us back to, the separation of our country. The North and the South. You have two presidents at the same time. My daughter has property in Georgia, so when I'm in Valdosta, Georgia, the birthplace of what organizations known to be there, You learn to navigate in any environment.
You learned the two different rules.
Yeah, and majority wins, man.
Right.
So we learn how to speak English, Espanol, y Italiano, just to be able to communicate with the folks. You know.
So let me ask you this, man. You've walked the streets. You've been in the streets. You've walked the hallways in the colleges. You've been on these stages.
Yes, sir.
You've been through a lot, man, within your time frame. And which one of these places have taught you the most about yourself?
Being broke. Being broke. Being poor. Being alone. Not trusting. There it is. What I phrase this: functional solitude is vital to understand thyself. You put a man who's murdered in solitary for a reason. You capture an enemy and put him as a prisoner of war for a reason. So when you're broke, whether it be financially, spiritually, emotionally, you have to rethink, readapt, recharge. What is it called? Reset. So I hope that answers it.
Okay. Well, we had a discussion on the phone, man, and you also kind of, because that brings me to this question. You told me that you once gambled away your savings to search
absolutely.
for the value, the truth and value, right?
Absolutely.
So that basically leads me to ask you, what did you learn about that moment that money can't teach you, being broke?
I like using words because a lot of people don't use them. And words are good to amuse, but language is to confuse, and rhetoric is the weight of the hammer. Okay? So what I'm going to say is this, that I have tried things and they didn't work, so that I don't try that again and try something different. And I've gotten better at making better decisions, whether it be, I've always been very, I've always realized that economic power was just as good as cash on delivery in different situations. You know what I mean? In the hood, I'll need cash, but in the bank, I need
Credit.
economic power.
Right.
So as a very young man, I like to remind my kids and my grandkids. I had good credit by the time I'm 23. I'm purchasing a brand new vehicle. I'm purchasing a brand new home. Well, used home, but my first home.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the age of 29, and
Still an accomplishment.
many more homes, and currently have owned this one here in Corpus Christi for 21 years. So I knew that economic power was very important, but also being able to understand money, and not just paper money, but different type of monies.
The
Credits.
language of money.
Credits, absolutely credits. So I'm grateful that I learned that, and it's made it so much easier in this at this time.
Yeah, because money is definitely its own language.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't speak it, you'll definitely limit yourself on what you can really do, because you have certain people in power that use this language, and they use it very well. As far as taxes, you got to pay the man. As far as to be able to leverage, you got to be able to have collateral, and they know how to play these pieces and speak that language very well. What kind of got you into learning about money and how to be able to utilize it? And what kind of advice could you give for someone, such as myself or anybody watching, to be able to speak that language better?
Well, look at somebody that you want to be like. Go meet a millionaire. Go meet a guy who has a leisure lifestyle. And if they really care to help a young fella who's asking the right questions, they would tell you, try this. Then go do it. Then go back, hey, dude, what else can I do? Then they'll say, try this. And then you keep asking until you say, you know what, I got enough knowledge from you, thank you. And go find someone else. as far as me, I learned from my father-in-law, former father-in-law, and you know, he wanted his daughter to be well taken care of. Well, how do you do that? You get a full-time job, a second job, and then you hustle on the weekends. And if you have to sell anything, sell it, because you have to provide. So I think I was pressured into learning this American way of prosperity, and which is the title of my book that I'm writing. And I've committed with Mr. Frank Lopez out of Houston, and I've titled it My Indemnity is the Story of My Life, period. Now,
How long you been working on that?
my entire life.
The book?
Absolutely. I've journalisted since I was a kid. I mean, when I was on set with Mr. Pepper he had shared that he was writing a bibliography, and he had given me the privilege to read over, I think it's, I don't know, 80,000 words or something. So then I typed mine, how many, and I said, dude, I'm at 50,000, and I ain't never even thought about writing a book. I just been journaling.
Jesus.
So by hand, in the juvenile system, in the military deployments, I always had a little journal when I'm flying. Now I journal to my grandkids, but back then it was just a troubled youth, because you can't tell nobody sometimes some of the things you do. Period. It's just,
You can't tell everybody your dreams.
well, not your dreams or your faults
Right.
or your infractions.
They'll use that against you.
Yeah, and part of the Constitution, just learning your basic Bill of Rights, says you should never incriminate yourself. Well, that's right there enough for me to say, shut up, and you don't got a right to ask me no more questions.
And that, I could definitely tell that's how you carry yourself, because
Yeah.
even having this conversation, it's just like, I'm telling you what it is, but I'm not gonna tell you what I did, right?
Yeah, I think because what I want to do is share the light on what is great, what is a blessing, what gives you energy. I said family does, kids do.
So with that being said, what are some of the misconceptions about the lifestyle that you live, or what are some of the misconceptions about the lifestyle that you live?
I don't know of any misconceptions. I know that there's a social media out there that sees me a certain way. So
Absolutely.
when I just did the Texas Heat Wave, 2 shows over there. I enjoy performing. I definitely like to thank Mr. Dorian Green.
Yeah, shout out.
He really put me on a platform that I had never been on at the level that he allowed me to be part of.
Right.
Because I had been doing music videos for about 11 years now.
Right.
And I made a list of all of them because I didn't want to forget all these guys. But I'm like, bro, the people have been asking me to be in their videos for 11 years now.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
When we were making music, well, I got hired to do a job, and I forget exactly how I found you, but I know that I had found you, and I just thought to myself, this is the guy. And so,
well, thank you for that opportunity.
Because the premise of the story was that you had 2 young artists that sell their soul to the devil, and when they do so, their dreams start to come true. But you played 2 characters: the manager at the record label that signed them, and the actual devil to be revealed.
The Phantom at the end.
The Phantom at the end, man. And you played that character so well. And after we got connected and started networking, I saw you all over the place, man. Who impressed you, like, as far as the celebrities that you've been around in the rooms you've been in, and the opportunities that you had to have got to have with them? Who impressed you the least, and who surprised you the most? Because, man, you've been in some pretty amazing rooms.
I would have to say that that Mexican OT really has been the one that I have to speak highly of, because he showed me and shared a life in a stage that, my God, that it doesn't come around that often.
Right.
So to be able to be on 6 music videos on with him, with those alone, like 70 million views, and the comments, I'm like, wow. So
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
I would have to say to that Mexican OT, thank you so much for sharing that time. And I would work for the rest. You know, anytime he asked, I would volunteer to go on tour or play the guitar. That was the greatest experience.
That's
to
so
meet,
dope, man.
To meet a superstar at a young age and be able to and be stable and be humble. Come on, I mean, somebody give you that kind of money, a young kid, you're flashy. I'm not saying you, but most of the teenagers or most of the young adults are going to not know how to handle that.
Pretty fast
fame.
pace after that. Yeah.
That is some powerful fame. That's some life-changing experiences, and then to just grace the stage just a little bit and to feel that.
There's a certain level of responsibility with that, and he carries it pretty well.
Man, I'm glad that I have made myself available. I'm glad I drove 9 hours all the way to Louisiana under the instructions of Dorian Green, who's really the one that put me onto all this, was introducing me to all these folks and allowing me to be on set with him. Numerous local celebrities, state celebrities, and national celebrities.
Let me ask you a question, man. Like, how did you even get into that realm? How did you start featuring in music videos? Was it the look? Was it the image? Who reached out to you first, and then how did it kind of start taking off from there?
Well, for the music videos is I can credit A Reckless, Gotta Get It, featuring Life, the G.
Oh, that's right.
I'm actually having a super nice arsenal. I have a custom made 300 that I bought from an owner of Modern Pawn. Beautiful gun, good weapon. He was the first one that asked me to be in his video. But prior to people asking me to be on print was at the college. Do you want to take pictures of me? I'm like, bro, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of. But I did, and I'm glad I did because I'm in a magazine. And then
you got the magazine with you?
Yeah, I mean these are old.
Check out this
but
magazine.
At least it shows like, hey man, this little guy wanted to be in front of print and everything. And my son's on here too. I remind him. I said, look, you had tattoos before you were even 18 years of age. I wonder who your parents were. So, see some of these. These are from like, I believe these are from like, I don't know, 2006, 2007. So 20 years ago.
This is you?
Absolutely.
What?
I'm fully more my whole body's tatted up now. That was when
That boy was getting his swole on. I know you can't see that, but we'll zoom on it later. That boy was, damn.
Well, one of the things is I put 40 on my name there is because at 40 is when I decided to retire from the rat race. When I said, this is enough to last me 2 years, so let me be a full-time parent. Let me fully enjoy my time with these kids and enjoy life. And that's where the gambling came in.
Really? The gambling came in during the time to enjoy life.
Yeah, because in that world, I'll just say you have to have a bankroll. And if you don't have a bankroll, it's good to have credit. To be able to couple of it. It's a big world. It's gambling. It's a behavior. You meet a lot of interesting folks, which leads me to how I met a lot of folks, really, owners of a lot of establishments.
So gambling was not only, a teaching moment for you, but it was also a networking moment for you as well.
Well, it was definitely a networking. That's what, yeah. And in the compensation of just being part of an underground movement.
Right.
It's a different world too, and the benefits of seeing that lifestyle. It's a nonstop party, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, here in our little city, with the finest of everything, and it was fun. It was a great time, but it did have an effect on me.
What's the most money you've made gambling?
Oh, easily. Well, I see on the table about 30,000 easily.
You made 30K?
No, on the table. So I probably, if I've broken easily one hand 5,000,
okay,
and maybe another hand 4,000.
A little 5K action, no big deal.
Yeah. So that tells you the level of these type of games. There are higher ones, absolutely, on ocean drives or out here in these fancy yachts. But I was happy at the level that I was practicing, because poker is one of those games where it's not about the two cards, even though that's what the Texas Constitution says. It's a skill. It's really about being able to read humans. You got 10 people sitting in there. You look at all of them, the way they be dressed, the way they speak, who be a worker, who be a boss. You know what I mean? So that afforded me to really bring out this character. I was watching, these are some powerful people in my city with money or influence.
So you got into character while you were gambling as well.
Oh, I think I got into character as a little kid to act right, or I get spanked. So, depending on the environment. So I think I learned a good hustle there. That I will definitely, like they're opening the first casino here in Texas, above Houston. So I already asked for membership there, because it is practice makes perfect. Sitting at a table and be able to extract money from folks, all with words, that's a skill.
Yeah, we love that skill.
You know what I mean? Because it's just a great opportunity to read people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's, I got a sales background, right? So there's a lot of psychology that goes into it. There's a lot of, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. There's a lot of body language that's involved in basically getting somebody to commit for, a 20-25 year loan or 25-year commitment, so yeah, I definitely understand as far as how that would work. I mean, it's the same thing, I'm guessing, but a lot more faster pace when it comes to gambling, just being able to read somebody and know when it's time to,
It's a skill that is vital.
Right.
Like in sales, so how to be able to read people, how to be able to read a man who's desperate, a man who needs to pay bills, and a man that needs to impress because he got a lady next to him. This is a playground for me. And I love playing here locally. I love playing in casinos. The character that I get out there is just, you just have to see it. Go join one of those tables with me. You're like, whoa, it's.
That's crazy, man. I feel like you're a man of many jackets, man. I feel like,
Thank you.
I mean, we're talking about the music here. I'm sure you've been in a movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm currently in a movie that starts production 2027. To my knowledge, I keep in contact with the director. My role is I could tell him is a lord, because everybody does these violent gang movies and drug movies, and I'm like, well, I don't want to play a role like that. I want to be a lord. Like, how does a lord? Because in my character, I am the lord for the South Texas, because there is Houston and there's Dallas and there's San Antonio. So when I hear this, I read the scripts, as I'm really thorough and meticulous in reading. I said, I know how I'm going to slam these dudes, because it's a warfare. So even in the movie, without giving out, what the movie's about, my character is a refined, very intelligent gangster,
Right.
a lord. I mean, he got the ship, he got the channel.
Right.
That's tonnage. That's not a couple of kilos, my brother. That's tonnage. This is Corpus Christi. That's the biggest port
Right.
to the Columbia, whatever it may be. And you see the board of directors out there. Oh, you see they drive them fancy cars like I'll be getting the Maybach in 3 years.
Shout out to the Maybach.
Yeah, Maybach, as my friend tells me.
Right.
But no, you see where the money comes from. So
Let me ask you a question, man. I don't mean to cut you off there, but it kind of just sparked a thought, because I'm not familiar. I always forget his name, but he played in Fast and the Furious 1. He's played in Training Day, and he's a Mexican character. And he said on an interview that he always feels like he's playing the same role. It's always Hector, or it's always.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the ball-headed one. He's a little bit more chunkier, man. But do you feel, any type of way when it comes down to it? Do you feel like that's the character that they always choose you for?
I've been the roles that it's just the dark guy, you know,
Yeah, the gangster,
yeah, not necessarily the tough guy, but the bad guy, you know, the guys
right,
that's willing to take risks. This next movie, I enjoy it because I'll be able to show our city all the cool stuff that, you know, the yachts and the nice little vehicles. And I said, dude, my friends have that, so come on down here. I even offered to film in Italy. I said, I mean, that's priceless there. They
right,
got the mafia there, but remember who we be. We have the kings in Mexico. I mean, public record's public record.
right.
But for entertainment, I said, dude, I think I can really narrow down a really good character, not just standard script, but something that's when you watch it, like, bro, it takes some pride in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
Shit,
man.
it is a pretty heavy town for being a small town.
Right, yeah. Corpus is
I
slept on
mean,
a little too much.
Yeah, from music to, with all due respect, music and talent, beautiful city. Um,
It's all over the place with the talent that we have here. You know, I know that the economy isn't the best right now when it comes to certain, you know, things and projects being done, because there was a point in time where, I mean, everybody was doing something. Everybody had a music video. Everybody had a project coming out. Everybody was, you know, dropping a single, an album, you know, putting on their own script or writing their own script, and I feel like it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Have you felt, you know, the effects of that? Do you feel like the work hasn't came as much just being in that area?
well, being that I'm an independent artist, guitarist, I volunteer a lot of times. Right now, I'm working with two artists that have been around forever. As far as here, I haven't reached out to any of the younger folks or the new folks, but I do watch them on the feed on this thing called Rapping Apps, and I put likes because I'm like, yeah, that's it, man. Another rapper, another singer. Like, age is not even a factor. Race is, it's just that you're from Corpus Christi. I support you.
Yeah, put on for the city.
Like for example, in this podcast, you asked me to be, absolutely, I want to be here. I want to support here. So I don't know any of the new young people, the new artists, but the more the better. You know, I think I need to go out there and say hello. You know?
Right.
But because I'm networking outside of Corpus Christi because of the opportunities that are afforded to me.
Right.
And I'm enjoying that I'm able to promote my music on these sets, whether it be one or up to 4 songs. I get to play them live. The compliments and the awes that I get from folks that hear me, like, wow. And I say, yeah, because it is different. You know what I mean? Who they help? But now I seen Kevin Gates ever since that Mexican OT did Brianna, and you see me there with the drummer and him. I have seen more musicians using the guitar, a lot more. Am I saying he started? No, they've been doing that way back too. With, you know, Zero had guitar parts, but I do see that more in the videos. I seen it with Kevin Gates. He had one with a guitarist. Then I seen Crystal Poppin. She had another guitar player and a drummer. And then I seen another dude from Dallas. He's got then another dude from Moss. And I said, well, look at all these rappers. They're putting guitar player. Well, good. Because Guitar Center, I always felt that I hoped that music would incorporate, or the music today would incorporate live musicians.
Right.
Like the big stars do, Rihanna, Jay-Z.
Absolutely. I feel like
you know,
I feel like we need more of that. I love the whole, you know, getting the live instruments, getting the choir together, you know, remixing your song to fit that standard, I guess you could say. It always stands out more to me.
Well, it is because when you use what I see, just a record player, you put a disc and you're rapping or singing over a pre-recorded, as Mr. Molly Wop would know as sound engineering, you can hear the distinction
Right.
of a digital 5 and then an analog through a live dynamic mic. So what we do is we only put certain instruments in the back. The guitars are not there, the vocals are not there. So when we hear ourselves, you can hear the different sounds. So kind of the difference between a guy with a DJ versus a live band. There's just a different effect.
Of course.
And Well, I think we're going to lean. I think more and more people would join. I think more and more musicians will incorporate live
I'm excited to hear
instruments.
some of this music that you got going. Let me ask you a question, man. When did you get into the music, and did somebody believe in you before you believed in yourself, or has it always been, you believed in that product?
Well, I was drawn to the guitar at a very young age. I would go to the church, and there would be people playing guitar. So that one day, and I've told this story on another podcast. So one day, when the church was not occupied by the worshipers, me and my friend found a way to go in there and procure these instruments, and there began the love for the guitar, and so much that I did it again. And even in juvenile or in Giddings, I had two guitars there. My parents didn't buy them. I took them. Well, I didn't take them. I acquired them through whatever
He can't
however
he
I
can't
could.
confirm or deny how he got those
Yeah,
guitars.
so I have
I've
photographs
been noticing that a lot lately.
of me playing guitar since I was a kid. So I play guitar classical mainly, so it gives me the really the greatest feeling. 40 plus years, self-taught, but I have people in my life that inspired me. If I may shout them out,
Yeah, go ahead.
definitely rest in peace to one of my cousins, Mateo Garcia, which in fact is Abraham's cousin, and is credited. Mateo Garcia is credited for the guitar progression and some of the writing for Siempre Hace Frío. He played mariachi music, and as a young kid, before I went to juvenile, he taught me how to play that Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm like, well, he played it on a classical. Then another individual later on is another gentleman, rest in peace, Mr. Ricky Smith from La Movida. I believe he was assigned to Freddie Records in Hacienda Records. He also showed me how to play a Carlos Santana called Ropa. So those two people, they actually did shows. I mean, I actually would go to Houston with him as a teenager, and they did the Tejano. But he wasn't your regular Tejano. He the dude dressed in black. He wore leather. He played electric guitar with distortion, not your typical bajo sexto. So that was kind of cool for that time. So, and then throughout the entire time I'm in the military, I'm in bands, cover bands, original bands. Once a singer for a country band. So I've always played music. When I moved to Corpus Christi, I couldn't start a band because it seemed like the populace here just didn't support that. You know, like in Austin or where I was used to, where people went, this is what they do. They go see bands.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same. But I feel like that's the same thing with artists too. Like, I feel like in Corpus, you're not gonna get the support until you get the support. If that makes sense. Nobody cares until they care, right? You have to
someone else. I mean, that's evident from Selena and any of the great people that came out of here. It's not till after the fact that they
right.
get to a certain level, like, hey, by the way, I'm from Corpus Christi, home of Selena, and you're like, but I didn't even listen to her songs.
Right.
Maybe
But I mean,
one.
for the most part, it's just kind of like just keep doing it. Keep putting
Oh
it in their
yeah.
face. Keep showing why they should listen to you, because at the end of the day, consistency is key. So, like I said, you know, in Austin, they might have a community that wants to go and check out these live bands, but here you got to give them a reason to come check you out. You got to give them a reason to want to go see you, and that's why I really pride our artists. Like, I have a lot of love and respect for a lot of the artists here. They're great, and then we get caught up in the motions of life, and that consistency falls off, man. So, yeah, I can see it being a little bit different somewhere else.
But that's why I said most of all the shows are out of here. We've done some at the Artesian, one
Yeah, I'm
there.
seeing them starting to turn
Uh,
up over there. I like that.
Yeah, they have Mr. Noe, the owner. He set up the most incredible stage sound system, the Artesian, downtown Corpus Christi, Texas, and of course Mr. David Soto out here at the Bridge always put it on for this type of music, urban, and all the other clubs who support live music.
Right.
I mean I think that's awesome.
So tell me about this. This, you said you got an album coming out.
I have a collection of. I'm gonna have to. I want to put out my first album so you can actually see. Wow, this is what he's done all these years. Because
If you had to compare yourself to another artist, what would that sound be like?
well, to compare, no. To say aspire, yeah. I would say that my music is very much aggressive and angry and melodic at the same time.
Are we talking about like?
Even sometimes within the same composition.
Are we talking about like rock music, rap music?
I call it trap music. And
Trap.
yeah, trap rock, trap
Okay.
core. It's
Some
just
okay, trapcore. I get you.
there's rock and roll, in the time signature, and then there's this rap which is well, eclectic in the composition. It's nice to be able to blend them together. You can go on YouTube, Don Martin 40. I have a few songs that I've on videos that one done by Dorian Green is on there. So that is the area for. I like live guitars. I just don't like a computerized guitar part. It sounds so. It lacks
Substance.
dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lacks the dynamics. Though you can make them great, you can't tell the difference. But can you tell that computer go stand on stage with you too? You can hire me. I'll be there.
Just put a screen on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the Chat GPT up there. Be all right.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to keep playing guitar to the end of my life because it is one of those skills and hobbies that is fine motor skills. I mean, look at what we do as instrumentalists. We think of the note, we hear the note, we tuned our ears to the note, and then we have to master the tension on the strings, and then like, wow, you can actually play that.
Man, like I said, man, you sound like someone that has a lot of jackets, man. And with everything that you've been through, and all the beautiful places that you've been and beautiful people that you've been around, has there ever been a moment where you felt like maybe you were becoming somebody that you didn't want to be?
No, the balance is that being in this, like I said, this industry. Let's just suppose that someone offered me a deal. First of all, I'm not searching for a deal.
Right.
I will create it. Number one, I'm a retired man. We don't there's no way you can entice me with a little bag of money.
Right, especially when you ain't got to do much. You live 6 months here, 6 months in Europe, man.
But when I do have my project completed, I will have to ask for some type of support to market and tour on it because I have to pay the artists who are the vocalists.
Right.
So at that time, it's better to use someone else's money than my own, and that's good business practice. And to me, because I record all the time, continuously, so I don't feel that I'm ever going to be out of ideas, and there's always going to be people who are committed to this, this craft. So I think I'll be able to record forever, and I'll definitely do the best to play it to the end. So I do it for more than just it's a job or it's a career. No, I do it because it's therapy. It takes discipline to sit by yourself for hours. It's play the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
But that's what separates me from, I guess, another type of guitarist that is trying to make it. Where I'm a grown man, dude. What could you possibly offer me?
Right.
Sincerely. So, and also I want to put out my album. So when I'm overseas, I get a lot of those Italianos to rap over my music, as y'all have them great festivals, because they do have some shows that are incredible.
That's super dope, man.
Yeah, that people attend those shows, like thousands of people.
Let's kind of like let's veer off a little bit, man. If you were sitting across 15-year-old you, what kind of advice would you tell him, and how do you think he would respond to what you're doing now?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say nothing. At 15 years old, you can't tell me nothing. So first of all, I know not to say a
so
thing
you
to him.
you wouldn't say nothing to him.
No, why should I? But he may ask, sir, can I get a light? Oh, bad boy like to smoke. Sure. So I'm not just going to offer to nobody, man. Why am I going to offer this knowledge that has cost my life? I'll give it to my kids, but even they have to ask. How do you do that, Dad? My kids sometimes, Dad, what do you do? I said, whatever I want to
So
do.
you just let that course play out just exactly how it was
Well,
for
yeah.
15-year-old you.
Absolutely. There's nothing I could tell a 15-year-old me. Bro, there's nothing you can tell a young man at that age who has, there's no fear. What can you do? Lock us up? Send us to prison? You haven't shot me yet. But I know a lot of bullets that have some scars. You know, as a little kid, I said, bro, it was fun. It was a great learning experience. So
That's what's up, man.
I wouldn't say anything to that 15-year-old. However, if he did ask for something, I'm ready and available. Just like now. If my kids need something, I'm going to offer, hey, you need this? No, hell no. But if they say, hey, Dad, oh, what's up, son? So I still feel you have not because you ask not. 15-year-old boy, you better start asking stuff. You're going straight to prison. That already pissed him off. The fuck you telling me I'm going to prison? I got 2 brothers there.
It's like,
What's
fuck
up?
you, old man.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to give out free game for nobody. What they say, you know, you have to ask for it. You have to find it. You know, you have to search for it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Right.
So at 15 years old, it's very hard to.
I mean, the fruit is out there. You just got to go pick it.
Yeah, and like I said, at 15, I think you've already most people already established themselves, especially in certain environments. They're set. You know.
That's dope. That's dope. So let me ask you this, man. What, with everything that you've done, you said, and I asked you earlier, how old are you again, brother?
I'll be celebrating a birthday this year, and I would say that I'll reveal it then.
He can't confirm or deny. I like that because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
just like that too, man.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But if someone asks, I'll say this. I try to stay disciplined, and that's evident through my body. You know what I mean? I stay disciplined. I don't like anything distracting me. Very solitude. I wouldn't use the word focus because I pretty much just sometimes just wander into opportunities.
Well, I guess that brings me to that question, you know, because within your many years on this earth, what is one of like the greatest victories that you had that nobody applauded or nobody knew about?
Oh, truly, as what you just said, warfare techniques. Victory before thy battlefield. What's that mean? Well, brother, man, try to talk it out before he smacks the shit out of you.
Your words.
Or before you lose your cool.
Right.
Stay calm. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you seem like a pretty calm guy, man.
Well, I'm calm because this is the environment, but when there is need, well, that amendment right of mine, second, is well executed. When I get pulled over by the local law, yeah, I got the 300 there, and I got this and this and this, sir.
I got a bazooka in the trunk,
Not yet.
but I will.
Yeah.
You got a bunch. You shoot a lot. You got a bunch of weapons.
I would say that small arms is vital for any young man. We live in Texas.
Absolutely.
You got to learn how to hunt. You got to be able to hit the target.
Always carry.
And of course, you may one day have to defend yourself. And being that we're constituents of the Constitution in Texas, man, when you're in the right, you're in the right. You know, so I think weapons, handling guns is important. You know, I tell my grandkids, bro, how old are you? He tells me, I said, bro, you haven't, your dad ain't shot it only one time. You need to shoot it more than once. You know, this is Texas.
What's your most memorable moment, whether it be from the the streets, the military, music, college? What's that one core memory that you'll never lose, that you may even tell the grandkids?
Being compromised, being jammed up, being in cage, incarcerated, whatever it may be. That steel does not break, but you will. You will. I have public records. Anyone can look them up. There are some in there. Those are, how do I say it?
Yeah, get the
They
right
were
words, man.
dismissed in a
There it
court of
is.
law. That's the best word. They were dismissed in a court of law.
Can't confirm or deny.
But definitely federal in here locally in Nueces County. I'm sure that there's a mugshot of me, unfortunately. But I've always I felt I was in the right, and I can justify my actions. As I tell my grandkids, kill, but never commit the crime of murder. You got to learn how to kill, bro. I was in the military. Like hood people talk about killing, bro. When you know how to kill with the righteousness of defending, right?
Right.
It transcends discharging a weapon in the city, or firing a gun in the state. How about when you're shooting overseas? That's international.
Let me ask you a question, and I know you're probably not going to confirm or deny it. You don't have to answer the question if you don't want to. What were you incarcerated for?
Again, it's always been for violence. I would say that my testosterone level is extremely high, and it shall be that way to the day that I die. So I attribute those hormones to just my
reactions.
Yes, 0 to 100. Come on, you're not.
You still got that
one.
in you. You still got that dog in you.
We shall have that to the end. We are dogs that will roam the streets. As I said, I told you the title of my book. My indemnity is the story of my life.
Period.
That's just in that statement in the rules of grammar and philosophical is mind blowing. You'll have to break them down word for word and then say, what's he trying to say? I've said it.
Has that dog had to come out, during your retired years?
Oh, absolutely. This is Corpus Christi. This is a very violent city.
Right.
Very violent city. So fatalities do occur.
Hopefully not by you, right?
I would say that because of the statutes, you'll never admit to anything. I would say that lifestyle, if you're promoting it, it's wrong. But if you're defending yourself, I think it's justifiable, and I think our folks in positions to acknowledge that, such as the veterans courts, takes a little. Okay, well, maybe he was reacting. I think so. I think so. If you put me on alert for 20 years, don't you think I'm gonna still be a little hyper?
Absolutely.
And then I already feel like something didn't make sense. You know what I mean? As a young kid, you're told don't be a bully, but when you go to another country, and I'm not speaking bad about America, what in fact are we doing? We're aggressing.
Yeah, you could be a little bit of a bully. It's like, that's mine.
Yeah, in layman's term, I call that bullying. And then when you practice certain warfare techniques, looks just like in the hood, brother. So
just on a larger scale.
Well, on a sanctioned theater. I've been deployed. I've seen what we can do as America.
When you get the permission to do it, yeah.
We're a powerful country for only 250 years. And we have refined ourselves to pretty much have a say-so in the world stage, and we do. And I'll represent that as an ambassador when I'm in Europe, Spain, Italy, Austria, Germany, and now I'm going to Norway. I represent the Tejano, the American. Come on. No political affiliation.
You get to have a little bit of the brown in there now. Because before, all you got a chance to see was, a little specks, but now you represent that with pride.
I appreciate my upbringing. I appreciate our culture. But I have to also remember the American spirit was in fact a rebellion. And there was the oppression. It's evident. You know what I mean? So you just got to know where you're best. What's your niche? Where will you be the best at? Where you're wanted, then be there. Where you feel the most comfortable, be there. I enjoy what I'm doing. I find myself to be more of a leisure man because I do get to explore other cultures.
Right.
And other day-to-day habits.
Practices and such. Yeah. Well, I mean, man. I really appreciate you coming out here and sharing some, some of your life. I feel like that book is gonna definitely break down a lot, especially with the amount of journaling that you do. And I'm super excited to hear about this album. I definitely want to hear it.
What I always try to keep up, because they always say, "Hey, paperwork, paperwork, paperwork." Well, let me tell you something. I got paperwork too, and like I tell folks, being a tough guy today is kind of cool. It's in the movies. Blood In, Blood On made a promotion. It's badass to be mafioso.
Right.
But back in those times, it was very difficult. And this is, like I said, my records were sealed, but you can obviously see where these are.
Did you draw this?
That one's my brother, my older brother. A very incredible artist. But look at the penmanship.
Yeah, this reminds me.
But look at the year. That's 1983. Look at that penmanship.
Look at this.
Incredible.
Your brother drew this?
He writes to me. Yeah, he draws that too. He would draw that. So that, when you've got time on your hands, I think you perfect your penmanship.
Man, this reminds me of my Uncle Gerald. Man, he used to write me from prison. R.I.P. He passed away because of COVID in there, and you know.
Well, I took good advice. They said to learn how to read and write. I definitely did that.
This is the best penmanship I've seen ever.
I'm gonna make copies and laminate that, because, man, that I need to show some of these writing professors. You want to see penmanship straight from the prison?
Wow.
Isn't that incredible? But no, I just wanted to bring that. So we are a product of where we're at, but we can also change because of the environment, And
right.
So I try to find places that are welcoming and that are beneficial for me.
Right. It's all about the circle that you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was just talking about this with our last guest, and many guests. I'm super big on, I have a brand, Small Circle Collection. I am big on that. You hang out with 6 losers, you're gonna be the 7th.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
I know. I watched this, and
Right.
I agree with you. You say, "Hey, I don't go out unless I'm getting paid." Hey,
Yeah.
sir, that's the best philosophy. We don't need to, be social butterflies when we are committed to our craft.
Right.
You're committed to this platform. Why do you need to go waste any other time?
Absolutely.
It's precious. So that's why I said, at this age, to be able to be leisure and not worry about health insurance. That's an expensive deal. I just had a doctor bill, and that thing was high, and I'm like, thank the Lord Jesus.
Shit, fuck that health insurance, man.
This bill was like about $220, and that's K at the end of that. So I'm like, health insurance is really great to have. Security is paramount, but when you have nothing, you do learn something, and that is make the most. You know how they say, what's most, not the less, or however it says.
Yeah.
And I still live by that. I have an empty house with a couch, a bed, a table, the necessities to cook my meals, and it's empty. I have window units so that I brag about my light bill being less than $100, where my neighbors are $500. So I still incorporate industrial, being thrifty. Even when I'm overseas, I'll say an example.
Live within your means.
And sometimes below that, so you have that surplus when you really need it.
And that allows you to do what you do.
It brings some kind of physiological change when a man knows he's got no worries.
Exactly.
Everything's automated, so you don't know when the phone. I don't need to know. It's that as long as there's funds to cover it, we don't have to call. Hey, I forgot to pay this month. No, that doesn't happen. So, same with vehicle choices. New vehicles for a reason. It's got no mechanic issue. So, as we get older, we don't want to do a lot of the hard work because we know systems are in place. So, but what I was going to mention about when I'm in Europe over there, an espresso is at my local bar is €1, 180 euros. But if you, as a tourist, go into around the corner where the central is at, you're going to pay 18 euros for that same little espresso. My morning, my sandwich being €2, you're going to pay 22 or 30 euros over here.
Damn.
So again, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're balling, you're balling. You just don't throw your money, foolishly.
Right.
Not saying you can't ball, because it's nice to show people our fruit, our the labor of our fruits.
Right. Absolutely. Before we get up out of here, man, would there be anything that you want to share with the audience, or maybe any advice, or something that you want to leave before we go?
Subscribe to Off the Record, showcasing our local folks here, the good people of Corpus Christi. Support Mr. Sir Davis here, Mr. Molly Watt Productions, for all our recording needs. So just be a good brother. I think that's
Be
what I
a
want.
good brother.
I think that's what I need to tell the subscribers. Subscribe, and just be a good person. Because
And don't do no whole ass shit neither, man. Just be a good person, man. All right, leave that behind. But serious note, I like to really end my shows with a question. If there's one thing that you would want people to remember you by when you're long gone, what would that be?
And you always ask that question. I just seen the dude took a while to answer it to. What do I want to be remembered by?
Yeah, if there's one thing you would want people to remember you by, what would that be?
Do you have a timer? Because that was a hard question.
Yeah, man.
I thought I had the answer for the test, but that one just kind of... And even though you ask everyone the same... I guess I would say I want to be remembered for being true to myself. I don't care what you think about me.
Goddamn right.
I think that, in fact, what you said, anonymity or autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
And as the... what do they call them? What do they call them? The epistemologist, is searching for knowledge. So that's what I like to be remembered by.
Someone that was true to himself. I like that.
Yeah, just to myself. I don't care what you opinionate,
Yeah.
because opinions change.
Well, brother, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you're a busy man, to come chop it up with me. That's another episode of Off the Record Texas, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.